Okay, so yesterday we are seeing so these filters, right? So how to filter the data? We are seeing the filters actually. So I think so. So like we have two types of filters. Okay. So we can filter the data based on we can filter the data based on dimensions, and we can filter the data based on the measures also. Okay. So and we have two more types of filtering techniques actually. So those filtering techniques are called like, for example, so yes, we can filter the row level data, and we can filter the aggregated data also. Okay. So just let me tell you one more time. So mainly from the first class onwards, we are keep on discussing that row level data and aggregated data, right? So while filtering the data, we can do the filtering in two ways. We can filter the row level data, and we can filter the aggregated data also. Aggregated data means whatever the data we are seeing in the sheet, right? That is nothing but the aggregated data. And while filtering the row level data and aggregated data, we can use dimensions as well as measures also. Okay? We want to filter the row level data or aggregated data. Will use dimensions as a filters or measures as a filters. So yesterday we have started a filtering based on a measure actually. So we are dragging the region into the filter shelf, right? So that is nothing but filtering based on a dimension. So in when I say dimension, right? Under dimensions, I have text fields will be there. And so in a dimension, we have two types of fields, text fields and date fields. So mainly we have text fields and date fields, right? So uh, region is coming under text fields actually. So, okay. So region is coming under text fields. So, we yesterday started with filtering based on a text field, that is region, customer ID. Like that, we can use any type of text field. So simply drag the region into filter shelf, and you can see all these options: general, wildcard, condition, and top. And in the general option, yesterday we have seen select from list option, as well as we have seen calculation fields. In the calculation fields also we have seen true false calculations and if statements. And we have also seen, yeah. So today what we do is like, so just assume that yesterday we have seen the select from list option, right? Now we, so now we'll discuss one more option today, that is called custom value list. Okay, what is the meaning of custom value list? So in the custom value list, I have to enter the value manually like this. After that, I have to click on this plus symbol. Okay, I have to click on this plus symbol. Then it will show each region. Just simply click on apply here. You see, it is showing each region. And if you want to show one more region, right, you can simply type that region here and just click on the plus symbol. Now, when you click on apply, right, it will show those regions. So custom value list means we have to enter the values manually here. And what is the difference between select from list and custom value list actually? Okay, so the advantage of like like we go for this custom value list in one scenario actually. So what is that scenario means? As of now in the region, I have only 4 regions are there, but my user is telling that I want to show east region. So I'll type east region here like that. And he's telling that in future, we don't have this USA region in the region now. But in future, we are getting this USA region uh, in the filter dropdown. So I want to show east region and USA region. Whenever USA region is coming, right, at that time, I want to show that region also. So what I will do for that thing, that select from list option will not work. Why? Because If I want to select USA region, that is not there right now. So I go to custom value list. I'll enter USA region like here. Click on the plus symbol and just click on OK. As of now, we don't have that USA here. But when I refresh the data, it may come in future. So it will automatically show. Okay, that is the custom value list option. And use all option is there. What is the meaning of use all option? Simple. As of as of now, we have 4 regions. But assume that in future more regions are coming in when we refresh the data. So if you want to select all those automatically, you can go for use all option. And by default, we'll be going to this use all option when you go to all other options actually. So before applying wildcard condition tab options, right, we have to select all use all option. In that case, it will select all the regions. Okay. So this is how like this. And so today I will show you how to how to do the same filtering in the SQL. So what I will do here, so here I have a list of tables here. So in this list of tables, I have one table which is called orders table. Okay. So just let me clear this one. So if you want to write the custom SQL, right? One more option is there. I can directly go to the orders, right click on the orders, simply click on the select rows. Now you see, SQL is automatically generating a SQL here. Oh, it is closed actually. Okay, let me search for the workbench here. So I already created a connection here. Just enter the password. So this is the schema name GBKR. Under this we have tables here. In these tables, I want to consider this orders table. So just right click and send a query to SQL editor like select all statement. So it will select all the records here manually. So in this table, we have order ID, order date, ship mode. We have all these columns here. As of now, I want to select all the columns. So just simply do select star. Okay. I can modify the query also. Automatically it is generated, right? So if you want, you can modify that query. So just execute this one. You see, it is when you do select star, right? It will select all the columns and all the rows also. So if you want to limit the number of rows to only 10 rows, right? You can use limit option, limit 10 here. So limit 10 means it will restrict the number of rows to 10 only in the output. You see? Now you see our ID means we are getting only 10 rows in the output here, but we are getting all the columns. But if you want to select a particular row, right? Particular columns, right? I can select region, comma, sales. Now remove the limit option. Just execute the query. Now in the output, I can see only these two columns only. Okay, I can see only these two columns. So let me go to Tableau here. For example, if I go to Tableau here, when you drag the region into row shelf, see Tableau is automatically aggregating every region into a single row. So that is a useful case. That is what Tableau do automatically. So we have discussed this in the first class. Tableau automatically do the aggregation when you drag a field into the sheet here. Sheet means row shelf, column shelf, text anywhere. But you see in the tab in the SQL, when you select only region here, when you execute this one, SQL is not automatically aggregating this. You see, we are getting central is repeating in the multiple columns. So south is repeating in the multiple columns. Maybe east also repeating in multiple columns if we go down. So Tableau SQL will not do aggregation automatically. Why? Because it is not a reporting tool. So if we want to do the aggregation in the SQL, right, then what we do is we have to use the group by function and just control C, control V. So in the group by function, what we have to do is whatever the column we are using in the select statement, right, we have to use that column in the group by statement here. Now run the query. Now this group by what it will do is it will aggregate the region. It will aggregate all regions to a single row. For example, east will come in single row, west will appear in a single row, like that. So each region will appear in the single row. So in that way, it will do the aggregation. Aggregation means each and every region now will be appearing in a single row. Now you see each and every region will be applicable to, aggregated to a single row, east, central, south, west, like that. So whatever we see in the Tableau. So so what the Tableau is doing in the backend means whenever you drag the region to the row shelf in the backend, Tableau also will execute the same query actually. Internally, Tableau also will execute the same query. It will execute the group by class in the backend, but we don't see that backend things here in the front end. But in the backend also, Tableau will uh, Tableau Tableau will apply Tableau will apply the same group by class only in the backend. Okay. Now in Tableau, when I drag the cells into the text here, right? You see Tableau is automatically doing the summation here. But in SQL, what is the thing means? In SQL, we have to do the summation manually. Okay. So just do the sum of cells. So very important. Like if you want to write some complex SQL queries, right? We need to understand these basics actually. Now you see, now we may think that in the select statement we are using two columns, region and sales. But in the group by class we are using only one region only here, not the sales here. Why? Because we discussed in the yesterday class that if you write any calculation, for example, in yesterday class we have written the calculation 3, right? So what we have written here, if you aggregate some sales column using some function, we have to aggregate the region column also using ATTR function in Tableau. But if you want to do the same thing, so all columns in a calculation must be aggregated or must be not aggregated. So the same formula will be applicable for the SQL also. In the select statement, I am using two columns, region and sales column. And we are already aggregating the sales column using some function. No need to aggregate the sales column again. Because of that reason, I'm not using that sales column in the group by class. And in the select statement, we have region column, which is not aggregated. So we have to aggregate that column using group by function. For example, in the select statement, if I am using category, one more dimension, and category is not aggregated, right? So I have to aggregate that category also in the using group by class, like that. Okay. So all columns must be aggregated or all columns must not be aggregated. If I remove some here for sales, right? Then we have to remove the group by class here. Maybe we can keep actually. I'll tell you that scenario a bit later. But for now, just remember all columns must be aggregated or all columns must be not aggregated. Okay. So I just told you that uh, see what will happen. So I'm not aggregating the region here, sales here, but aggregating the region here using group by class. Now just execute this query. So it will show some wrong values actually. Okay. Now you see as of now for central, we are getting 16,000, 16 point, right? Let's see what will happen if I apply the sum function here. Now you see for central, we got the 49 something like that. But in most of the databases, it will throw error actually. In MySQL database, it won't throw you the error sometimes. It will directly give you the wrong result. Okay. So all columns must be aggregated. Okay. Now we'll move to the next thing. And I want to, in the output, I want to show only set each region only I want to show in the output here. So I will apply where class here. So directly where region equal to east. Simple. Just execute this query. Now you see in the output, I can see only each region. I want to see multiple regions in the output here. Now what I will do, I will apply in function here. If the region is in east or if the region is in west, I want to show all the regions which are in east and west. So like that, just apply. Okay. So I told you we have two types of functions. We can do that filtering in two ways. First one is row level filtering and second one is aggregation filtering. So if you want to do the row level filtering, right, then we have to go for where class actually. Where class will filter the row level data. Where class will filter the row level data. So whatever the filter you will apply in the where class, right, that will be applicable at row level actually. Okay. Now I want to show you one more thing here. For example, you see for each what is the value we are getting 6,90,000. We already know that it is an aggregated value. Why? Because we are using region and sum of sales. So for each region, we have multiple rows, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. Like that, we have so many number of rows. If I do the summation of all these n rows, then I'm getting a 6,90,000 here. Now, what is my requirement is, okay, I don't want to go into that actually. Why? Because first we'll discuss that in Tableau, then we'll come to SQL actually. Okay. Okay. So this is how we'll filter the row level data or region in the SQL. So where class is used to filter the row level data, and we use having class to filter the non-aggregated data. We'll discuss that a bit later. I hope you understand. Any questions? Yeah,
Sorry, Venkat. So you said having is used for aggregated data and where clause is used for row level data.
yeah, filter the row level data.
Okay.
And by default, if you apply any filtering in any dimension, right, that will be defaulted to row level aggregation only. Whatever you filter the data, if you use any dimension for filtering, right, that is by default a row level filtering. So we can, okay, just remember this one. If you apply any dimension, if you are using for a dimension for filtering, right, that is by default a row level filtering. Okay. Now we will see some more options here. So now just drag the region into the filter shelf, and we have seen custom value list, user and all those, right? Now we have one more option here, which is called a wildcard option. Before going to the wildcard here, just I want to tell you, instead of taking region here, just take customer name. Just drag the customer name into the row shelf. Here I can see all the customers. Each customer is aggregated to a single row actually. Here I can see total sales of that customer. Okay. Now I want to filter the customer name here. So drag the customer name into the filter shelf. We know already the how to use the general option and custom value and use all, right? Now let me go to the wildcard option. In general, while going to the wildcard option, just have to click on the use all option. Use all means it will consider all the customers. In future also, if any users are coming, it will consider all the customers, and on top of the all the customers, it will apply this wildcard condition. Now in the wildcard, what are the options we have means, first we have a search bar here. Match value option is there, so we have search bar here, and we have four more options below: contains, starts with, ends with, and exactly matches. Now I simply click on starts with option. If any username, if any customer name whose name is starting with A, right, then only I want to see those customers in the Tableau sheet. So for that, select starts with and simply select A here. Just type A here and just click on apply. Now you see, I can see all the customers whose name is starting with A only I can see. Now I can go to edit filter. For example, if you say AARON, for example, so now Tableau will filter all the customers whose name is starting with Aaron only, it will filter. Now just click on apply here. Now you see, I can see all the customers whose name is starting with Aaron only. Okay. If you want to apply the same condition in the Tableau, right, in the database, right, then what I will do is, instead of region, just take customer name here. See, when you're typing cust, right, SQL automatically show all the here all the dimension names which are starting with CUST cust. Let's just select customer name here. Okay. second. Okay. So now what is my requirement is I want to achieve the same requirement here. So what I will do simply, I'll copy this customer name here. See how to apply that customer name here actually. So just let me, okay. If I make it equal to right, it won't work actually. So we have to use one keyword here, which is called like keyword. After like keyword, just use the single quote. And within the single quote, what we have to write here. So my requirement is the customer name should start with Aaron only. So what I will do, I'll copy the same thing here. And I don't want to bother about what are the letters I have after the Aaron. But starting should be Aaron only. So just type Aaron in the starting here. At the ending, just give the percentage symbol. Percentage means it will it won't bother about what are the letters it will give you after the Aaron. So I'm bothering about the customer name should start with Aaron only. So first write Aaron here, then give the percentage symbol. So just execute this one. Now you see it will give all the persons who starting with Aaron. Okay, same thing like now go to ends with option. In the end with option, I don't know like what to take here, but just type S here. So I can see all the customer names whose name is ending with S here. So for example, I want to take ES here. I want to I want to show all the customers whose name is ending with ES. Just click on apply here. Now I can see all the customers whose name is ending with ES only. I'm not bothering about the starting letters. So I'll go to this one here. At the ending, I will write ES here, and at the starting, I will write percentage here. So it won't. When I give percentage means it won't consider the starting letters. It will consider only ending letters as ES. Just type here. Now I can see all the customers whose name is ending with ES only. Okay. Now I have one more requirement here. For example, I'm going for contains option here. Contains means if any name, if the CAR is appearing at the starting, middle, or at the end also. If any name contains CAR, I want to see all those customers in the output. So just click on apply. Now you see in all these customer names, somewhere we have CAR. Like if you take this word, at the middle of the name, I have CAR. At the middle of, at the for this person, the starting we have CAR like that. Okay. So to achieve the same requirement in SQL, so now just give the percentage in the starting and ending here. Why? Because I don't want to bother about it will it will repeating at the starting or ending. So just execute the query. Now you see I can see all the customers whose name contains CAR, maybe at the starting, maybe at the middle, or maybe at the ending also. Okay, like that. I can see some difference here between Tableau names and the custom SQL in the SQL. Why? Because both tables are not exactly same actually. Because of that reason, we are seeing this one. Okay, hope you are understanding. Now assume that so this is wildcard means this is actually so if I go for exact match, right, and when just click on apply here, you see here when I type CAR and when I select exact match means there is no person whose name is CAR. So I'm just searching for exact name here like CAR. So I don't have any name whose name is exactly CAR. So this is like equal to condition. Okay. Now we have one more option also here, which is called exclude option. If you do this and just click on exclude, right, it will exclude all the persons whose name contains CAR like that. So just click on apply. It will give all the customers like that. Okay. Now this is the options you can use in Tableau for the wildcard. And we discussed about initially we discussed right in the starting we have discussed that in Tableau, anything is we can achieve a requirement using options and calculation fields. Till now, we have seen calculation options, right? Now we'll see we'll create a calculation field in the Tableau. how to achieve the same requirement using using some calculation fields and functions. So we have directly starts with function, and the starts with function is taking two arguments here. The first argument is string here. String means I can take customer name here, comma. Okay, sorry. This is taking two arguments. So first argument is string, that is customer name, and second argument is substring. Substring mean, for example, if the person is name is starting with Aaron, right? Then only I want to see those customers in the output. So this is a true false condition actually. It will provide true if this condition is satisfied, and it will provide false if it is not satisfied. So just click on OK here, drag this into filter shell, and just click on true here. I can see only those customers whose name is starting with CAR. Now, similar to the starts with, I have one more function which is called ends with function here. So I want to see all the customers whose name is ending with ES, right? You can simply apply like that. And we have one more function which is called contains function, which is similar to the wildcard options what we have seen. Contains function whose name contains CAR, maybe at the starting, ending, or middle also not a problem, like this. And we have seen one more option, exact match, right? So if you want to search for an exact match, right, you don't have exact match function here in Tableau. Instead, what we can do is we can directly apply equal to condition, equal to CAR. I want to display the person whose name is exactly equal to CAR. Just click on apply. I don't have any person whose name is CAR, like this. Okay. So hope you understand. Like while typing only here, for example, you see when I try to type here starts, right, Tableau is automatically display all the functions which contains str word keyword. And if we can easily identify a function, before the function we can see F symbol here. F symbol means it is a function actually. For example, if I try to write S here, right, S, right, when I type S here, Tableau shows fields as well as functions also. How to identify fields and functions means, before functions we have F symbol, but for fields we have hash symbol which is a measure, ABC symbol which is a dimension, date symbol which is a date field, like that. Okay, in this way we can easily identify whether it is a function or whether it is a field. Okay. Now drag customer name to the filter shell, and we don't have like yeah, we have seen general option, wildcard option. Before going to the condition option, right, we'll discuss this condition option bit later. Why? Because it is a bit different concept. Condition and top option both are bit different concepts. I'll just introduce you what is the difference here means. You see, when I go for general option, when I go for select from list, you see I can see all the customer names only here. You see, when I drag the customer name to filter shell, I can see all the customers only. Okay. Even if I go for wildcard also, I can filter the data based on the customer names only. Here I can filter the data. But if you go for condition option, you see in the condition option we have three values: none, by field, and by formula option. If I go for by field option, you see here we are linking this customer name to measure also here. So here we are linking a dimension with a measure actually. Because of that reason I'm saying it is a bit different concept. So it is so this is a concept. If we are able to understand this concept, right, we can write any complex calculations in a Tableau. So this is the most difficult part in Tableau. Condition option, and equivalent to this condition we'll have one more concept in Tableau which is the most used concept. And in the interviews also, they will be asking you these scenarios in the LOD functions. So we have functions called LOD functions, and we can see one more topic also, like here window functions are table calculations. Okay. So we have seen how to filter the data based on a text field here, like dimension text fields. So we have seen general option and wildcard option, and we have seen the similar how to apply the same condition in tab in the SQL also here. Okay, SQL also we have seen. Okay, any questions in SQL for us, for me? Okay, let me tell you a few more things in the Tableau. See, assume that in the Tableau, I'm displaying customer-wise total sales, right? So I can drag customer name to filter shelf and I can select few customers here like this. Okay, and I have selected these four customers, so I can see these four customers in the Tableau sheet. And on top of this, I have one more requirement here. What is that requirement? Is out of these four customers, I want to see how many customers are coming from the each region. So I can apply multiple filters also here. I'll drag the region into the filter shelf and I can apply each central region. Now you see, out of these four customers, these three customers are coming from central region. If I give the same filter to the user, right, he can simply do east. So these customers are coming from the east region also. So why we are getting these like means, for example, I am the customer. I I stayed uh, I stayed for some time in the east region, and the same customer is staying for some region in the central region. Like that, the customers are moving from one region to the other region. Because of that reason, we are getting like this. So I can see select south region. I can select west region like that. Okay, and I can apply multiple regions also, multiple conditions also. I can apply as many filters as I want. So no need to drag. So for example, the filter shelf I'm using customer name and region. So no need to use these dimensions in the row shelf or column shelf. It is not mandatory. Okay. In the sheet, I can use only sum of sales here in the text here, and remaining fields I'm using for the in the filter shelf. Okay. I can write subcategory also into filter shelf. I can select all here like that. So in the filter shelf, I can apply as many filters as I want, are required by the client actually. So as I told you, by default, whatever the filter you will apply on a dimension, right? That to that to general option and wildcard option. This is a row level filtering. Okay, this is a row level filtering. But in a where in the SQL, whatever the filters you will apply in the where class, they will filter the data at row level data. Now we will see how to filter the data based on measure values. Based on the measure values. So I'll simply go to sheet 15 here. So I simply want to tell you, I simply want to take one more yesterday example here. Okay. So this is the orders table we have taken yesterday, right? Okay. So I have a sales column here. What is the summation of all these sales here? 100 plus 200 plus 100. So which is summing up to 400. So it is summation of sales. If I want to do the same thing in Tableau, right? I'll simply drag the sales into my text here. It is giving the summation of all the rows. Like if you go to the, if you see the row level data here, full data, I can see summation of all these rows here, nothing but summing up to or like 2.9 million lakh or 29 lakhs. Now, what is my requirement is I don't want to see the summation of all these rows. I want to see the summation of only those rows which are having sales value greater than 150. Okay. So if you apply the same condition here, so this is not satisfying the condition. So this is satisfying the condition. Only this row is satisfying the condition actually. So I want to, before doing the summation, right? Just give me a second. Just give me. So before doing the summation, right? I want to filter only those rows which are having sales greater than 150. Okay, so this is a row level filtering. Why? Because I am applying this condition for each row in the database. So first it will apply that condition. If that row is satisfying that condition, then only that row will appear in the output here. For example, I should I have some rows here which whose values are 160, 120 like that, right? So when greater than or equal to 150 means which rows are satisfying this condition? These two rows are satisfying this condition. So what is summation of these two rows? 200 plus 160. This is about 360 here. So if you want to apply some condition in each row in the database, right, in Tableau, what I can do is just drag the cells into the filter shelf. Now here mainly I can see two values, all values and sum here. Sum means it is a filtering the aggregated data. All values means it will filter the row level data. Simply select the all values here. Just go to the next here. In the range of, I can see here four options: range of values, at least, at most, and special values. Okay, first I'll go to special values. Here I can see null values as well as non-null values and all values also. So for example, in your data, we have some rows which are having null values, right? If you want to show only those null values, you can simply click on null values option. If you want to, if you want to exclude null values, right? Just give me a second. So sorry, like that. So if you want to like that type of things, if you want to show all values, right, including null values also, you can use the all values option. So I'll go to range of values here. Range means we will be able to select minimum range, minimum value, and maximum value here. So what the Tableau is doing here is by default, what the tab it is showing minimum value and maximum value here. So what the how the Tableau is showing these values means Tableau will go to the database. In the database, I have 1 lakh of records. Out of these 1 lakh of records, the minimum value is 0.4, maximum value is 22,000. So these are row level values actually. Maximum row is having value 22,000. One row is having minimum value which is called 0.4, like that. So I can simply apply my condition here. I want to filter those rows whose values are having at least 150. So I can simply click on the at least option. When I click on the at least option, right, user can able to select the minimum value but not the maximum value. Maximum value is um, maximum value is disabled here. Okay. When I go for at most option, the user is able to select maximum value but not the minimum value. Minimum value can be anything. You can restrict the maximum value like that. Okay. So minimum I can select 150 here, and from 150 onwards, whatever the rows we have, we'll get all those rows in the output here. Just click on apply here. Now you see, if I do the summation of all the rows which are having sales value greater than or equal to 150, if I do the summation of all those rows, right, it is giving like 25 lakhs, like that. So this is how we filter the row level data. Later, you can apply one, you can see here one more also. Before sales, we don't have sum option here. For this sales, we have sum here, which is summation of all the rows. But in the filter shelf, we don't see that sum option here. That is uh, meaning of that is it is filtering the row level data. That means we have selected the all values there. Now, if you want to show the same filtering to the user, right, simply click on the show filter option. Now we see the user can now change the minimum value here, not the maximum value. User can simply type here in the text box, he can enter 300. So it will give you all the rows whose value is greater than 300. And if I do the summation of all the rows, right, I'll get this 22 lakhs here. Okay. So I'm just going to the sheet 16 here. I'll try to tell you how to achieve the same thing with the help of calculation fields. Simple. Open a calculation field. Don't write sum of sales here. Why? Because sales means it is a direct field which is coming from the database. So it will filter the row level data actually. If you write greater than or equal to 150, right, then it will filter the row level data. Just click on apply here, drag it to filter shelf, just select true here. Now you see, I got the same answer. what I got using options. 2550 like that. 2550. Sorry, it is 150, right? Okay. Let's apply 150. 2550. So we can achieve the same thing with the help of calculation fields and uh, options also. But you see, in some cases, we go for this calculation fields. Why? Because if I go for this option right, when I show it as a filter to the user, right? See, the user can see minimum value here and maximum value also. But maximum value is disabled actually, but the user can see the minimum value. Okay. Now, if I apply this true false calculation, right? Then if I show the same true false calculation to the user as a show filter, then he can see true and false only here. But the user is not able to select the value 150, 300, like that. Whatever we are selecting here, minimum value, that option is not available for the user here. So like after that, what I can do is I can apply multiple filters as a conditions, right? So after applying this calculation file as a filter, now I can drag the sales into the filter here. Now I go to all option here, just click on the next option here. Now you see by default, these filters are taking minimum value and maximum value after applying this condition. Okay, so one filter is purely dependent upon the and condition actually. So here we are applying and condition like that. Now you can show this as a filter to the user show filter. Now the user is able to select minimum value and maximum value. For example, in the calculation file, if we apply here 1200, for example, 1200, just click on OK. And when you drag sales here, for example, into the filter shelf, and when you select all values, Tableau will automatically show 1200 as a minimum value. Why? Because we have already applied a filter with 1200 as a minimum value. So from this filter, it is taking the values again like that. Okay. And these are and conditions actually. All values just click on okay and just click on show filter. So if you want to provide the user to select a minimum value and maximum value, right? You can simply go to the range of values option. If you want to provide like that, I don't want to tell you again. So just these are the conditions. So if you want to apply the same conditions in the SQL, right? What I can do is every time it is asking password. Okay. So what I will do, I'll go to my where class here. I'll simply write here sales. It will automatically show those that value here. Sales greater than or equal to 150. Okay, just click on apply. Now it filtered. Okay, just remove the customer name here. If you want, you can use the customer name also. Okay, like that. You can apply the where condition. Now, if you want to apply one more condition, for example, I want to see the same sales value greater than or less than or equal to should be 3000. So like this, I can apply minimum value and maximum value in the where class. So here we have to write the and condition. Just execute it. And if you want to apply one more condition, for example, okay, just apply here. Okay, like that. So what it will take, what it will do is, I have some customer here. For this customer is repeating in multiple rows. One, two, three, like that. In multiple rows, he is repeating. If I do the summation of all the customers, I'm getting some value here like 5 lakhs. And what this condition will do is, it will go to each and every row. It will apply this condition. If the condition is satisfied, then only we get that row in the output actually. So after applying this condition, we will be getting some rows in the output. And if I do the summation of all those rows, I'm getting value here 36,000 or 3 lakhs like this. Okay. Similarly for each and every person. So on top of this,
డోర్ ది నాకు పని ఉంది డోర్ ది పాల డబ్బా పాల
so like that, for example, if I go to Tableau, if you want to apply one more condition using dimension, right, I can apply simply. And I want to, on top of these conditions, I want to apply one more condition, which is and condition. The region should be equal to east. So I can apply as many filters in the where class. Like I can apply conditions on multiple fields also, like this. Okay. Okay, like this. You see, when I calculate this in region, we have only one person here from the east region, like that. Okay, if one in tab, you can do the same thing. Okay, so this is called row level filtering. Now we will see how to filter the aggregated data. Now, what is the meaning of aggregated data? Simple. So whenever I drag sales into the text here, it is the data what I see in the sheet is automatically aggregated data. Why? Because here it is applying automatically some function. And if I drag region or if I drag customer name, for example, drag the customer name into the row shelf, just for the purpose, right? Arranging it in a descending order. Now you see whatever the data I will see in the sheet, that is the aggregated data. In the sheet, I can see customer name wise total sales here. So whatever the data I will see in the sheet is, that is nothing but a aggregated data. Now I want to apply filter in this aggregated data. On top of this aggregated data, I want to filter. Now you see my condition is, so when I aggregate the data by customer wise, right? For each and every customer, you can see some values are there here. Now in this, I want to see only those rows in the sheet. I'm just referring to the sheet only. In these rows, how many, first of all, in these rows, in this sheet, how many rows I have actually? I can't count manually, right? So we can simply come to this bottom here. Here I can see 793 rows actually. So we have 793 customers. So out of these 793 rows, what I have in the sheet, I want to see only those rows which are having value greater than 20,000. Okay. So in another way, I want to see all the rows whose value is greater than 20,000. In another way, how I can say is, as I have customer in the sheet, I will say the same requirement in other way also. I want to see all the customers whose sales value is greater than 20,000. But ideally, the sales should be greater than 20,000. So what I will do, drag the sales. See, we have to understand one thing here. When I say customer sales should be greater than 20,000, right? So ultimately, I have to apply the condition based on the sales only. Okay, let me make it simple. So simply drag the sales into filter shelf. Instead of selecting all values, now you can select some value. Why? Because some means it is referring to the aggregated value. So all the sales value, what I see in the sheet are aggregated values. So on top of these, once I aggregate the data, on top of this data, I want to apply my filter. So as it is aggregated data, I'm selecting here summation here. Okay, simple. Just select sum here. Go to the next here. What the Tableau will do is Tableau will populate the same options here, range of values, at least, at most, and special here. It is showing in the sheet. I can see minimum value is 4.8 and maximum value is 1 lakh here. That one. So Tableau automatically identify those minimum and maximum values and it will populate those values in the minimum and maximum value text box here. So just select at least option here. Select 20,000. Just click on OK. Just give me a second. Just 1 second. Okay, so you see now I can see all the rows which are having sales value greater than 20,000. So here we have to apply simple logic actually, and not logic actually. We have to understand what is the requirement actually. Okay, so you see when I selected sum here in the filter shelf also I can see sum of sales here. Okay, like that. So this is called aggregated filtering. Once I aggregate the data, right, on top of that, I want to apply the filtering. So you can simply click on show filter here. I can see like minimum and maximum value. User can select here. If you want to apply the same thing in Tableau, right? What I will do, I'll remove the where class here. So first, what I have to do, by customer name wise, I have to aggregate the value here. So what I can see is, okay, great. So okay, sorry, I have to use here customer name in the group by class. So when I apply here, I'll see customer wise total sales here. But in Tableau, what we have done, we have arranged the view in a descending order, right? So if you want to apply the same descending order and ascending order in the SQL, right? So based on the sum of sales, I want to arrange it in a descending order. So sum of sales, it should be in a descending order, decreasing order. So just click on apply, just execute the query. Now you see highest person will appear in the first row based on the sales only. Next highest sales in the second row, like that. So it is arranged in a descending order. Now after that, I want to filter my data. So we have to go for a having class. In the having class, just take the sum of sales. What we have done in the tableau, right? Same thing apply here. In the having class, greater than or equal to 20,000. Simple. Just click on execute here. Now, okay, uh, 20,000 only we have applied, right? Why we are not getting? Just remove the order by class. Not right. No, we are not getting right. So just comment this line. If you want to comment if you want to comment some code, right? Code outlines, right? Just simply use the double slash here. I think it's not. It is working. It is not working. Okay. Okay. I don't work more on this. Just remove that one and execute this one. Okay, here I can see 14,000. Okay, here we are having maximum value is 14,000 because this data set is different actually, but no problem. I want to see all the customers whose aggregated value is greater than 10,000. Just apply this condition. Now you see all these are customers whose sales value is greater than 10,000 only. When I arrange it in a descending order, right? The minimum value I can see here is 10,000. If you apply like, for example, if you apply like 12,000, the minimum value I can see here is 12,000. Maximum value is 14,000 like that. So you already know how to apply one more maximum condition like sum of sales. You can write, right? Less than. So I don't want to tell you again all those things here. Okay. Now I want to apply one more condition here. So we have already discussed it, right? The value should be, the sales value should be greater than 10,000 and less than or equal to 12,000. So we have seen before that like this 10,000 and sum of sales like 12,000. So if you apply like this, right, I'm getting all these customers. Now, instead of writing and condition here, what we can write one more way is I can use the between keyword actually. I can use between, the sales value should be between 10,000 and instead of writing and condition, I can write like this, comma 12,000. Between, I can use between keyword here. Now I'm getting some error in the order by class. Let's see what is that error. Okay, let's execute the query first. So just remove this order by. Okay, somewhere we are getting error. Sum of sales between 10,000 group by. Okay. So I just want to tell you that between keyword only actually. So just use the where class here, where sales between 10 comma 20. Okay, maybe this is not supported. Between keyword is not supported, or I'm not sure. Group is not valid at this position. Let's remove the group by class here. We'll see. Okay, something error is coming. Maybe between keyword is not supported in MySQL database. Maybe. or not sure that's the exact error, but we have to we can use between keyword actually. So maybe use like between uh, 10
Maybe the brackets 10 and
and
20.
30. Yeah, this is correct actually. So we have to remove the brackets here and I use between 10 and 30 like that I can say.
But you don't have group by and you have sum of sales.
No, it will filter the row level data actually. Whenever I apply some condition in the where class, right, it will filter the row level data only. Control C. And what is the one more thing here is I can apply row level filtering and aggregated filtering at a time also. Like that, when I apply this condition, I'm getting only this is the output here. So let's make it 3000 and execute this one. So once I get this output after applying the row level filtering, right? After that, I can apply aggregation filter also, like that. Okay. So we can apply row level filtering and aggregation filtering at a time also. Between 10,000 and 20,000. See, you see the syntax will be different for so different databases. So you can follow now it is a valid thing. Just click on apply. Now you can see these customers. First it will apply this where class, then it will aggregate the data, then it will apply the having class conditions. Okay, having class is used to filter the aggregated data, where class is used to filter the row level data. And this between keyword is will work not only for the measures here, it will also works for the date filters also. So date fields also. Okay, I can apply some date conditions also here. Okay, we'll discuss that bit later. So I think I hope I covered everything like okay. So tomorrow we'll see some more concepts actually. So any question before that? So I'll close this session. Okay, I assume no questions. So we'll meet again tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks, Venkat.